Hi, so today we're going to talk about the first sign that tells you you are ready to start your healing journey. And this is a sign that you've gotten to the point where you are tired of putting everyone first. And it might have felt like this has taken forever for you to get to this place, but you finally made it. So we get to this place where we have learned that we have to put everyone first because we didn't get the love and the acceptance and the support that we needed or wanted in healthy ways when we were younger in our childhood years. And so we wanted to have our emotions validated and accepted. We wanted to have affection from our caregivers in appropriate ways, like a hug goodnight, snuggling to watch a movie, reading a book together in a comfy chair, um, having quality time spent with us, maybe being taken to the library to do the fun activities that are at the library, or being involved in um, youth little league type of activities. And so we didn't get those things and we wanted them, especially because we saw other people getting them. And so we learned that the only way to get those things was to put everyone else before ourselves. And we did this because we would rather get attention from others, get the things that we wanted, that love, the support, the acceptance, even if it meant that it hurt us and we did it in ways that weren't healthy. So when we um, put ourselves in this position, it can show up in any relationship. It can show up in relationships with friends, coworkers, your family, whether it's your immediate family, the people who live in your household, or your extended family, like cousins, aunts, uncles. And so we really put ourselves in a place where we actually have no boundaries. Our time isn't our time. Our money isn't our money. Our space isn't our space. And so uh, let's go back just a second. So when we say that our time isn't our time, it's because people have this expectation that we are available for them 24/7, 365. Oh, well, we're all going out to dinner. You should come. Oh, well, it doesn't really work for me to do that this time. So I'll go next time. Yeah, but you have to come because we're all going. Or, well, it's not going to be the same without you. Or, we really miss you. Or, what we actually need to do to give us a ride, whatever. But then our money isn't always our money either. And I've seen this happen with a friend of mine. Her in-laws spend very willy-nilly. They don't on some level they treat money as if it's in an everlasting abundance and they will never run out of it. And she doesn't do that. She doesn't use her finances in that way. And so there's often this expectation that the in-laws have for her husband and her, that if they're spending, $300 on dinner, then they are also intended to spend $300 on dinner. Or if they plan to treat some of the family for dinner, then she and her husband also have to chip into that, even if it wasn't agreed upon ahead of time or discussed ahead of time. There's no communication. It's just expected. And then when she and the husband don't want to do that and are not on board, then they're ridiculed or judged or made to feel badly. And so she's gotten much better over the years of actually putting a boundary in place and saying, no, we're not doing that. That's your choice, but that's not ours. And so you can make that decision and that's for you, but it's not for us. And we're not participating in that. The other thing, your space isn't your space. I had a client who was really struggling at work because one of her coworkers, their desks were pushed together. And so her coworker was encroaching on her desk space. She was putting her tea kettle there, her coffee cup when she was done with her tea, some of her office supplies. And then my client's space got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. But my client never said anything because she didn't want to be seen in a bad way. She didn't want to be seen as someone who was uncooperative or who was inflexible or who wasn't a team player. And so she allowed this to happen. And the anger and the resentment built up and built up and built up. And then she lashed out a little bit. And then she felt guilty about saying something and felt as though like she was still in the wrong, even though it was her space that she was advocating for. And so we will always put everyone else first with the hope and the belief that they would eventually do the same for us. That's why we do it. We would rather have this be in this situation where we're putting everyone else first, because at least we're having relationships. At least we're being seen on some level. And so, but what we don't realize in the moment is that no matter what, no matter how much we put everyone else first, it will never be done for us. It will not be reciprocated, because that's not how people have come to know us. They think like, oh, Kim will always do that, or so and so will always do that. That's just how they are. They like doing it. They'll make up all of these reasons as to why um, it's okay to allow us to put them first and ourselves last. They'll always have a justification for it, but for never reciprocating, never giving us the same care that we've given them. And so we understand now that sacrificing our own needs for other people isn't helping us. It's only hurting us. And it really leaves us in a position to be taken advantage of and to be potentially manipulated. And so we are now ready to put an end to this. And so you have decided that you want to devote your time, your effort, your energy to what you want, to what you need, and what you desire, so you can be the person that you want to be, so you can have the things that you want to have, and so that you can actually do the things that you want to do. And so I think that's amazing that you've gotten to this point and you've had this realization. So I want you to take a moment to celebrate yourself for that. This is no small feat. This is huge, because this is going to put you in a position to where when you're on your healing journey, you can actually start to create some boundaries. Even if it might feel a little bit awkward and uncomfortable at first, you're going to be in the mindset to do it and not feel badly about it. Eventually, it's okay if you feel guilty about it in the beginning, because it's something new, but you've gotten to this point where you realize that you are so tired of putting yourself last and always putting everyone else first when it doesn't really work in your favor, and it's still not getting you the authentic love and acceptance and support that you've been wanting for so long. So celebrate yourself and say thanks so much for tuning in.